Hello everyone, this is Kristen from Limitless Spoons. I hope you guys had a good Memorial Day weekend. So, Mercury retrograde right now is crazy. I now have tried to film this video twice and it has not filmed at all. So this is my third time trying to do this video. So I am hoping that this works. So I am still trying to figure out how to talk on camera and figure out what kind of placements that I want, what I want to do. So please bear with me while I figure all of this out and try to do this, I guess. But like I said, I just want to be me and be myself, and basically that's it. That's the whole point of these videos. And I just want to say real quickly before I talk about some of these things with women and healthcare and what's going on. I just want to say that I am not a medical professional, so if you have any questions, please go to your nurse or doctor and ask them questions. Do your research, please. This is my opinion, and I understand that everybody has their own opinion. I just want to voice my opinion on how I feel about the situations that are going on and how I feel that what should be changed or what's actually happening, and bring awareness is kind of what I'm doing with this video. And just talking a little bit about that. So, real quick, there's a lot of talk right now about the Roe v. Wade. I know it's not officially overturned yet with the federal government, I don't think, but I know it's been sent to the states, which I do believe that is a good thing, because the states are supposed to make the decisions on laws. And I do live in Oklahoma, so Governor Stitt did sign a abortion bill, so you still can have an abortion if you, with incest or sexual assault, rape, or if your life is in danger, you can still get an abortion, as well as you can still take Plan B and birth control and all of that. It's really hard to talk about this subject because there's one side or another side, and if you're in the middle, it's kind of it's rough, because one side thinks they're right and the other side thinks they're right and wrong, and arguing who's right and wrong is not going to help the situation. It's not going to help anything, and we're not going to solve or try to get anything done or put together if we cannot come together and find a conclusion or compromise or whatever we need to do. This is a hard subject because it deals with what people think, say it's life or it's not life. And I am a Christian. I do believe in God, and it's really hard to be put to be in this situation and to have an opinion on this, because I don't believe in abortions, but I do believe that women should make their own decisions themselves, and people in general should make their own decisions for themselves, and it should be between them and God what they decide to do, and that should be the end of it. I mean, I know it's hard because I don't believe in that, but if somebody wants to make that decision, that's their decision, it's their life. And as a Christian, it's really hard because it's just a hard subject to talk about, and I just think that women on both sides should come together and figure this out and figure if we can do compromise or find something that we can come to an agreement about with this. And I feel like that would be really the only way to kind of get this resolved or try to get this taken care of. It's a hard subject to talk about. That goes the same thing with, infertility. Infertility, people say that you're playing God as well with infertility and getting embryos and transferring it. And where does the other embryos go? Do they just get put away? Do they go to somebody else, donated? What happens? It depends on what people believe in. Everybody believes in different things and has different opinions on everything. And we should all be able to make decisions for ourselves, and that should be the end of it. I know it's hard to know that people are having abortions, but like I said, that is up to God, them and God, and everybody else has their own issues and sins as well, and has issues they're going to have to come to God with as well. So we are all the same, and when it comes to what we do in this life, because we all sin, we all do things that we're not supposed to do, and like I said, it's a hard thing to talk about, because it's always you're wrong, and never trying to come to a compromise or come together to have discussions and figure things out. Like I said, with infertility, it's because I actually dealt with infertility for 2 years before I had my son, and infertility is extremely expensive. A lot of states do not have health insurance that covers infertility. I actually was lucky with my previous job that it did cover one IVF, but it was up to only $15,000. Infertility, really, I looked up here, is about $12,000 to $25,000. That's without insurance, and that can also be if they charge $25,000 and your insurance only covers $15,000, you have to pay that extra $10,000 out of pocket. So that's a lot. It's extremely expensive. And people with abortions, I looked up with Planned Parenthood online, which you can go ahead and go online and look if you would like. But it talks about abortions. Early term is $750 and late term is $1,500. Also depends on state, city, as well as your insurance. Like, I don't know if these doctors that do abortions get reimbursement for doing abortions, but I haven't looked into that. I'll have to look in that and see if, I would assume they would, but I'm not really too for sure on that. There's issues that need to be talked about with birth control, IUDs, and people saying, oh, well, women should just take birth control. I have known women who have got pregnant while on birth control and when their tubes were tied. I also know that women with endometriosis, PCOS, which I do have that, or have fibroids or cysts or any kind of other health problems, do not do well on birth control. So while on birth control, it actually exaggerates the symptoms even more and causes more issues. So caused me more pain, more bleeding, and I could not be on birth control, and I can't be on birth control. I tried an IUD, the Mirena copper oil one that's supposed to have, I think, no hormones, but it caused extreme pain. It causes weight gain, not for everybody, but it caused me for weight gain And that is not a good for somebody who has PCOS, that already has insulin resistance and is gaining weight, and it could cause a woman to go into pre-diabetes or get diabetes. I mean, that's the reality of what's going on within women that deals with in the healthcare system and has these issues. There's also issues with women who are having issues with pain with endometriosis and PCOS, fibroid cysts, whatever. And doctors will tell you that if you get pregnant, you will have no more pain or no more symptoms, and it cures. And I did have 2 doctors that told me this, which is a myth. It is not true. There is no cure for endometriosis or PCOS. No matter what people say about holistic things or anything, there is no cure. There's no cure. So it is very dangerous to tell a woman or a patient that, hey, you get pregnant, you're going to have no more pain. It's going to be gone and you'll feel great. And when a woman finally gets pregnant or has a child or multiple children, you then realize that, it either your symptoms come back worse, or sometimes it does get a little better, but most of the time it gets worse or it comes back exactly the same. And that is really tough to deal with, especially when you have a child to take care of and you're dealing with pain and more symptoms or extreme pain. And that should not be something that doctors should tell a woman, because that is extremely hard to deal with when you have endometriosis or PCOS or any kind of health issues as a woman. And women that have that kind of pain, that do not want to have children, usually want a hysterectomy or ask for a hysterectomy. I've had women that I have talked to or seen in support groups that have said that the doctor had declined their hysterectomy when they asked for one because they did not want to have kids, but the doctor declined because they told the patient that they may want kids later on, so they don't feel comfortable doing the hysterectomy. There are some doctors who do or will do the hysterectomy, and my mind just went blank. I'm sorry. So yeah, they will do the hysterectomy, but the problem is most of the time the hysterectomy the only time that a doctor will do a hysterectomy is if you have cancer, unmanageable infection or bleeding or uterine rupture. As well as women that do a hysterectomy or want to do a hysterectomy should realize that it sometimes will not help your symptoms. I know women, it's usually half and half. It's 50-50 to, some women say, yes, it really helped with their symptoms. Some women said, no, they still have the same pain and the same problems. So it's really, you're taking a 50-50 chance on doing that. But the other issue is it has to go to insurance to be approved. And I did look at Medicaid, and like I said, it depends on the state and the city where you're at, but this is what I looked up for like average for hysterectomy. If your insurance does not cover hysterectomy and you want to pay out of pocket, hysterectomy is $10,000 to $20,000 out of pocket. And that is extremely expensive. And there's problems with insurance that should not make certain decisions as well for patients, or for when a doctor asks to do a procedure and health insurance says, no, we're not going to do that, or that's out of network, or that's not medically necessary. Things need to change between in the healthcare system of doctors and nurses, which there are good doctors and nurses. I'm not saying all doctors and nurses are bad, but I have dealt with 15 years of dealing with doctors and nurses that I've had ultrasounds, x-rays done, and it took 9 years for a doctor to finally diagnose me with endometriosis and PCOS, which the best way to do that is actually through a laparoscopic surgery. But the best thing to do when you have endometriosis, PCOS, is to do an excision surgery. But I can talk about that in a different video. There's talks about, there needs to be talks about foster care system. How do we deal with that? And with adoption, it's actually easier to adopt a child in another country than it is here in the United States. How do we fix these issues? There needs to be talks about this and how we can help our people here in the United States and fix these problems in the system. There's people that are not having kids because it's too expensive, especially daycare. Daycare from 1990 to 2022, it has gone up 224.32%. That's unbelievable. And that's a week. And let me tell you, with my first child, 2019, from 0 to 1 years old, was $170 a week. 2020, it was $190 a week. Last year, turned into $220 a week. And that's just where I'm at here in my city and state. And like I said, it differs, and it's more expensive in other areas than it is here. But either way, 224.32% is unbelievable. Unbelievable. And a lot of people who are over the poverty, making just a little bit above the amount for how much they make for their job, do not get help or assistance for daycare as well. Which usually means that the wife or the husband or the man or the woman or whoever has to leave their job, because their job cannot cover daycare and health insurance either, all in one. So there's people having to quit their jobs because they cannot afford to take their child to daycare and pay for health insurance, because health insurance keeps going up and people aren't able to afford health insurance, and people are in medical debt, and things need to change. There's, when you have a child, you then have a family deductible that goes up. Whenever I was single and before I had my first child, it was in-network deductible. My health insurance at the time was $1,600 for in-network deductible. When I had my child, it then went up to $3,600 for an in-deductible in-network. I don't remember the out-of-pocket max, but that is ridiculous. That's ridiculous. There's issues with paid parental leave, maternity leave. A lot of jobs only give you 6 weeks. Some do 12. And fathers maybe they may get 2 weeks. And that's it. There needs to be changes within that as well, so women and men can bond with their child. Pregnancy, postpartum depression, postnatal depression. These are things, like I said, that I have dealt with and have my own opinion. But I have dealt with postnatal depression with one of my pregnancies. Actually, I think with both, but also with postpartum depression with both children and postpartum anxiety as well. a lot of women that go in that have those issues will go be seen at 6 weeks after they have their child for their checkup. You have to do a paper that you circle questions, and the doctor will say, oh yeah, you have postpartum depression, you have this, here's some pills, go home. And women don't get the help that they need when they are going through major issues with postpartum depression, psychosis, anxiety, and all we get thrown at is antidepressant meds. And that's it. There's no, they don't try to send us to go see a psychologist or psychiatrist, whatever we need. There needs to be more help within women's healthcare in general. There's a lot of things that I have gone through, and I've also have heard and seen women talk about in support groups that are horrifying. Like I said, there are doctors and nurses that are good, that are helping and want to help patients and change the system as well. But the system needs to change. I'm trying to bring awareness to people to try to get conversations going, hopefully to eventually try to get things changed, and or at least just try to help to bring awareness. Either way, I'm just trying to bring awareness. Like I said, hopefully get to change something in the system. There needs to be things that are changed, and with women's health and health insurance and pharmaceutical companies, all of these things I'm trying to bring awareness to, and we'll continue to make videos to talk more about certain issues and things that I have dealt with, and hopefully bring more awareness to everyone. And I do want to talk about endometriosis or PCOS. I do want to talk about infertility. I do want to talk about healthcare and health insurance, as I've worked as a medical biller for quite a few years. I've also worked in pain management. I want to talk about pain management. What's going on in pain management right now with the opioid epidemic? There needs to be changes, and there needs to be awareness of what's going on within the healthcare system, and hopefully make a change, hopefully bring people to talk about these things and bring awareness. That's what I am doing, and I hope I can make a difference. I really do. And that's all I really wanted to talk about for today. Like I said, I'm still trying to figure all of this out and get comfortable with talking to the camera and talking about all of these issues. And yeah, I just really hope that everything goes well, and I hope you guys have a good Memorial Day weekend. Actually, we already had the Memorial Day weekend. Duh. But I hope you guys did have a good Memorial Day weekend, and hopefully you guys had fun. You guys enjoyed yourself. Be with family, be with friends, be with loved ones. Like I said, you never know when your time is up. So enjoy the time that you have with your friends and family. Love them. Love whoever you have in your life right now. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and finish this video, and I hope you guys enjoy it, and I will see you next week.